whether you think we should cut him or keep him, or even if you're still on the fence, you might want to watch this video as we talk about Zay Jones. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a player breakdown edition of Billievers Talk, where we look at a current Buffalo Bills player and we ask ourselves, is this someone we want to keep on the current roster? Before we do that, however, I'll remind everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to Billievers Talk, guys, hit that subscribe button as we constantly keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills content. You want to hit that subscribe button. If you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. They notify you when we go live, and we will be going live this Sunday for the game between the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. Again, hashtag sports and Billievers Talk coming together to give you the best 2019 play-by-play reaction coverage of our Buffalo Bills. So we want to make sure to either watch it here on YouTube, as I will be giving you play-by-play reaction to the Titans game, or over on Sportscaster, link in the description below, but catch it here either way. But guys, we want to talk right now about Zay Jones. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about Zay Jones right now? What do you think about Zay Jones? Should we keep him? Should we give him another chance? Or is this now the time to drop him? Or maybe the time to release him and bring up Duke Williams? What do you want to see happen to Zay Jones? We're going to talk about Zay Jones, and if you were with me on Monday when I did my live post-game coverage of the game against the Patriots, you know I was hard on Zay Jones. You look at those 2 interceptions, you look at some of those, only having 2 catches for 4 yards. Those were things that were hard on Zay Jones about, and I know a lot of other people were hard on Zay Jones as well. I'm talking about Blindside Buffalo Sports. I'm talking about some other YouTubers that I've seen out there. But recently, I believe it was yesterday, Aaron Quinn, my man from Cover One Sports, give him a follow on Twitter, tweeted something out, tweeted a whole thread about Zay Jones. He was getting a lot of heat over this thread, kind of defending Zay Jones a little bit and saying that maybe we shouldn't be as hard on Zay Jones as we are being. And I'm going to bring out both points in this video, and I'm going to let you decide what you want. Now, a lot of us have already come to our decision. We already think Zay Jones needs to go, or we're willing to die on that hill and say, no, we need to stick with Zay Jones. No matter where you're at, I think you need to listen to some of these stats I'm going to give you, and then let me know again in the comment section, do you think, did I change your mind at all? Did I give you some more to think about? If you've been a fan of this channel, you know that I have been a Zay Jones supporter since day one. Talking about his days in East Carolina, really a big fan of this kid, and I've been on that hill. Now, recently, I've been coming down that hill. I'm still on it. I'm still close to the top, but I'm not on top anymore. I'm more on the edge, looking up, saying, well, I could still get up there if I need to. But you have to admit, with the lack of production, we've all begun to lose faith, if we haven't all lost it already, in what Zay Jones can do. So let's talk about Zay Jones, where he came from. Again, Zay Jones was at East Carolina University from 2013 to 2016. Still holds the NCAA record for catches in a season. In 2016, he caught 158 catches. That is still an NCAA Division I record. 1,746 yards, 8 touchdowns that season as well. He also has 399 career receptions, and that is another NCAA record. So we know he can catch the ball, and maybe part of that is why we're so frustrated now. We don't expect 158 catches a year. That would be nice, but that's not something we can realistically expect from Zay Jones. But at the same time, we want to see better production than his 35.5% catch completion percentage they had in 2017. But those numbers can also be rigged to read what you want them to read, right? We always say that, a poll can tell you exactly what they want you to tell you. They just need to ask the right question. So in 2017, if you look at Zay Jones' stats, he was targeted 74 times, 27 receptions, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a 36.5 catch percentage. But if you go over to Pro Football Focus, they broke it down a little bit more, and they looked at that number, 74 targets. Yes, he was targeted 74 times. However, they only deemed 47 of those catchable balls. Okay. Now again, those numbers can be wrong, configured the way you want. What do they deem a catchable ball? But you have to admit that some of the Zay Jones passes that we've seen even this season have not exactly been catchable in favor of Zay Jones to actually go and make a play. So how can we rate him on those passes when he doesn't even have a chance to make a play on it? So if you're looking looking at those 47 deemed catchable balls, he caught 27 of those for a 57% catch rate compared to what Pro Football Reference would call a 36.5 catch percentage. So if you're looking at these numbers, they don't always tell you with 100% accuracy what kind of receiver we have on our hands here. If you look at the deemed catchable balls, you got 57%. Look at the catch percentage by Pro Football Focus out of all the targets, 36.5. You can believe what you want, but I still think 57% is better than 35%. And for a rookie year, that's not too bad. So you go to 2018. In 2018, he had 102 targets. Well, before we talk about how many receptions he had, how many of those were deemed catchable by PFF? I looked that up. 88 of those were deemed catchable. So 88 out of the 102 were deemed catchable balls. Not a bad percentage there. But if you take the 88, his 56 receptions out of those 88 is now 63% compared to on Pro Football Reference, where you take all the catches and it's 54.9%. So again, a little bit better, almost 9 full points better, or 9 percentage points better if you look at the actual deemed catchable balls compared to every single target, right? And in both 2017 and 2018, PFF ruled that Zay Jones had 3 drops each season. So it's 6 drops total in his career. I know he gets a bad rap for not catching some balls. I remember his rookie year, I believe it was, the Tyrod Taylor throw against the Carolina Panthers week 2. We lose that game 9-3. Excuse me, late in that game, I think it was on 4th down, there was a ball thrown up to Zay Jones, not necessarily a ball that maybe PFF would deem catchable, but Zay Jones does get his hands on it. It's a little behind him. So a lot, and I still remember back then, a lot of people were saying, oh, Zay should have caught that. Oh, you blame Tyrod for that. And they were going back and forth. But you wonder, is that something that was deemed catchable by PFF? But you cannot lie to yourself and say that every ball thrown Zay Jones' way has been left up there for him to make a play on. No, we've seen that this year. Now, this year, 18 targets. Only 8 of those have been deemed catchable by PFF, and Zay Jones has caught 7 of them. 7 out of 8 is 87% compared to 38.9% that PFF or that Pro Football Reference is showing compared to every single ball thrown his way. And again, we've seen it this year. We've seen long bombs thrown to Zay Jones that are overthrown by 5 to 10 yards. They just can't make a play on. I've seen at least 2 to 3 times this season alone. So we know that every ball thrown his way is not going to be a catchable ball. But we've also seen good out of Zay Jones, right? Last season, again, I harp on this a little bit, Zay Jones in his last 6 games had 6 touchdowns. Last season, Zay Jones finished with 56 receptions, 652 yards, and 7 touchdowns. 6 of those were in the last 6 games of the season, 2 against the Dolphins in week 17. So we thought maybe at the end of last year is becoming to come into his own a little bit, right? And it just wasn't meant to be so far this season. Again, only 7 catches this season for 69 yards. Now, out of those targets, you wonder how many of those were made uncatchable because Zay Jones has an issue with separation, okay? You talk about the separation Zay Jones can get according to PFF, both last year and this year so far, it's just a little above 2 yards per ball thrown his way. That's not a lot of separation. In fact, it ranks amongst some of the lowest in the NFL for wide receivers as far as getting separation from his defenders when the ball's thrown his way. So when you're looking at deemed catchable balls, some of that can be blamed on the quarterback, right? Not throwing the ball where he needs to for Zay Jones to make a play. But some of that can be blamed on Zay Jones not getting the separation he needs to get. Now, if you watch Aaron Quinn's thread with Zay Jones, you do see there are plays against the Patriots where Zay gets open, but the ball just does not get thrown his way. So the yards per attempt are only based on the yard separation, only based on per attempt, not on those open plays where he's not throwing the ball. So maybe that has something to do with those numbers again. Again, all these numbers can be shown in a light that makes it look negatively or positively for Zay Jones, and that goes for any player, and so we have to wonder, what are we seeing out of Zay Jones? What can be different, and can this be a connection issue between Allen and Jones? Because last year, when I talk about that 6-game stretch, it all started with Matt Barkley. That game against the Jets, Zay Jones had a good game, and he had a touchdown, and he looked really good. So maybe Matt Barkley was what he needed to start that connection. And hey, we might have Matt Barkley starting this week. So, Blindside Buffalo Sports was talking about this yesterday. The guy over at G Show, check him out on Twitter as well. He was talking about this yesterday as well, saying, you know what? What if Barkley comes in, Zay Jones has a breakout game, and it throws a wrench into everybody's plans for Zay Jones, right? What if he has 8-9 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown or two? Now, if someone looking at Zay Jones and saying, hey, there's obviously a connection issue with Josh Allen and Zay Jones. Zay Jones is still getting open on plays, guys, but Allen is not always looking for him, not always seeing him. And if Zay Jones is that third or fourth wide receiver in Allen's progressions, we've all talked about how Allen needs to read his progressions more, and he's been doing better this season, but maybe he's still missing some of those throws he could make to Zay Jones. So those are just some of my opinions. Again, you look back at Zay Jones and you realize, hey, we drafted up to get this guy. We traded up with the Rams to get up to 37th in the 2017 NFL Draft to get Zay Jones. Zay Jones, the fourth wide receiver, taking off the board. The other three were taken in the top 10 of the 2017 NFL Draft. We gave up a 44th and 91st overall pick for Zay Jones, and we like our draft capital, right? We don't want to give it up for a guy who isn't going to return the favor. And with those picks, the Rams got Gerald Everett, tight end, and John Johnson, safety. We get the 37th and 149th. We obviously get Zay Jones with that 37th pick. We actually trade with Atlanta later, and it includes our 149th pick. We send them a bundle of picks to pick up a guy that is currently on the Buffalo Bills, Deion Dawkins, still on the offensive line, the only Buffalo Bill on the offensive line who was there last season. So, you have to take a look at this trade and say, hey, we got two pretty good players out of it. I'm still happy with this trade overall. I think even back then, it looks like a good trade. I still think today it looks like a good trade. So let me know what you think about that trade in 2017. And again, let me know what you think about Zay Jones. Again, can you say that he isn't catching as many balls as we like to see because of the lack of catchable balls thrown his way? Maybe. Again, the percentages are much higher with those deemed catchable balls than just the thrown balls his way, or whatever you want to call them, targets that he has. Or can you blame that on the fact that he is not getting enough yardage away from his coverage? He's not getting enough separation from the wide receivers. Again, only 2.8 yards respectively according to Next Gen Stats. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he's not getting as many looks as some of these other guys. I'm not sure. Again, you can read it either way. I know a lot of you have already made up your mind on Zay Jones. I think, personally, I still am a Zay Jones fan. Like I said, I'm not willing to die on that hill anymore. I think I'm coming off that hill a little bit, but you still got to give him a chance. Give him a chance to show that he can make a 60% catch rate like he did in 2018, where he only had 3 drops. And again, out of those 102 targets, 88 of those catchable, caught 56 of those. If we get 56 catches out of Zay Jones, somewhere between 50 and 60 catches a year for 6 to 7, 800 yards, I don't think that's that bad production, especially when you look at the 9 or 7 touchdowns he had too. I don't think that's that bad production from a number 3 or 4 wide receiver. Again, now that we have John Brown, now that we have Cole Beasley, takes a lot of pressure off what we expect out of Zay Jones, and maybe our expectations need to be slimmed down a little bit for Zay Jones. But then again, maybe he just needs to make some catches. Maybe he just needs to do better at getting open. One thing I did not mention that kind of goes under the radar when you're talking about wide receivers, and almost did here, I almost forgot to mention it. According to PFF, Zay Jones is 12th in the NFL in run blocking among wide receivers with a grade of 79.1. That's really hard to evaluate how important that is, especially for a team like the Buffalo Bills, who run the ball consistently pretty well. We're currently 6th in the league in running, I believe, in rush offense, and some of that can be contributed to Zay Jones blocking down the field. So we do have to take that into account. Everyone's excited about Duke Williams. I know that. Everyone wants to see a change at the helm, and maybe that's one of the reasons why more and more people are yelling about Zay Jones, because they're excited about the guy we have on the practice squad. And who knows if those two are even correlated. Just because we dropped Zay Jones, remember, we just added Easley to the practice squad. Maybe we're more likely to bring Easley up from the practice squad than we would be to bring up Duke Williams from the practice squad if Zay Jones can't live up to the bill, if the Buffalo Bills coaching staff believes that it's time to make a change, what if that's the change they make? Nick Easley had a good preseason as well, and I think we'd be remiss to not talk about him a little bit as a potential replacement for Zay Jones instead of Duke Williams. Maybe Duke Williams is more associated with Foster. If Foster has to be moved down, maybe then we bring Duke Williams up. But right now, the Buffalo Bills coaching staff has stated that they're sticking behind Zay Jones. Now, we know that can change from week to week, but yesterday, Coach McDermott and Coach Brian Daboll were talking about Zay Jones, and they had nothing really bad to say, and they said they're going to stick with them. Coach McDermott did wish that Zay Jones would have given more effort on those bang-bang interception-type plays. He thought maybe Zay Jones could have done a little bit more, but he did admit there were bang-bang plays. And if you look at that third interception by Josh Allen, the one on the sideline, according to what the official on CBS said after the fact, he said that should have been ruled an incomplete pass. So maybe Zay Jones did do enough to consider that an incomplete pass, just not ruled that way on the field. Again, those interceptions are all on Josh Allen. Just wish that maybe Zay Jones would have done a little bit more. So again, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Zay Jones deserves a shot here with the Buffalo Bills, or do you say, hey, enough with the chances? It's been 2.5 years. We're done. We need to move on. We need to get better production from that position. Let me know in the comment section. Again, guys, like this video, and again, subscribe if you haven't already, as Believers Talk keeps you covered on all things Buffalo Bills, teaming up with #sports to give you play-by-play and reaction coverage to every single Buffalo Bills game. Also teaming up with WhereTheStampede.com, a fan-run Buffalo Bills webpage. Go there for all your Buffalo Bills news. One-stop shop, really cool website. So go over to WhereTheStampede.com and check them out as well. But like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. And again, leave a comment. What do you think about Zay Jones? I look forward to talking to each and every one of you soon. Until I do, go Bills.